Hi, and welcome to the Scoundrel Shard, Episode 6. This is the first game on the new patch where we have progression, meaning not everybody has all of the cards, and it's done some interesting things to the meta. I played quite a few games last night, trying to get a feel for what's out there, and what I've realized is out there is a lot of aggressive early minions, because that's what the commons are. Gone, for a large extent, are the more control-y decks, as people are playing with the cards that they have, and so trying to play the decks that played well against the control decks doesn't work quite as well. This is the deck that I came up with after quite a lot of tuning. I was really fortunate to get some very powerful cards for orange. Let's get in there and see what we have. I am running Weave Breaker in this deck, especially right now when the early drops appear to be more important than they have been in the past. Weave Breaker can just completely shift the tempo of the game to your favor. It gives you a big advantage in being able to have a stronger board early on and develop that into a later stronger winning position. Phalanx Leader is still as good as ever, and I was fortunate to get two of those. Actually, I believe I crafted my second one. I just really value that card. Shining Disciple, again, I didn't originally have this in the deck, but because of all of the early pressure that we're seeing, I felt it was important to have an early drop that could trade well. And Echo of Light I'm using to combo with other portions of the deck, although I believe that I send that off pretty quickly, as we see here. So looking at this, we want to keep the Weave Breaker because turn 3 Weave Breaker is the strongest turn to play it. We do end up with the Vaporized Stone, which is excellent for us, especially one that we don't have to play first turn, so we can use it when it's more to our advantage. So we go ahead and move forward and play the Shining Disciple. Green decks I have seen have really powerful aggressive starts right now. I've seen a lot of very early Tempest Town plays into just trying to wear down to 13 to 9 life in 4 turns. It can be really oppressive. However, they don't seem to have the staying power, especially if you can set up a strong defense. I actually, this goes on for just a little bit because as I was playing this game, somebody came to the door and I left my turn running a little bit. I apologize to Barney out there for that. That's not exactly the coolest thing. So right now, this is a very very standard start. I want to talk a little bit about what we're seeing in the meta. For one, I'm seeing a lot more players. The player base had kind of been the same players over and over again. As we see more players playing, we're also seeing more variety of decks and more card choice as well. I am fortunate I had access to the early access to the Steam beta, so I was able to purchase the starter pack. So I had the 100 packs that they're giving right now to test this week. That'll go away next week. I had earned 64 packs over the course of the beta, and then 30 packs in a legendary. And out of that, 30 packs and one guaranteed legendary out of the starter pack. Out of all of that, I ended up with 5 legendaries, which isn't bad at all. One of them being High Illuminator Series, which goes amazingly well with this deck. So the drop rate on legendaries is fairly low. We're not seeing a huge amount of legendary content, and that makes very interesting decks. Not every deck is going to run a Bloodthirster. Not every deck is going to run High Priestess Amnol and be able to pump up all their minions. And so it is changing how decks are running. So we're seeing things like Snapdragon and Youthful Novice, things that had kind of gone completely out of favor just because they're solid cards when not taken in context of owning everything in the deck. So we get the turn 3 Weave Breaker. We've got 1 point of damage down on the Snapdragon. I know I'm going to eat 2 to the face here. That's fine. I really want to pressure that Snapdragon out. We want to take the high ground. That is always our goal when playing orange, especially because I still run Evangelists. With 2 Evangelists in the deck and also the ability to copy them, controlling the high ground and having an evangelist on the high ground in most games is game over, especially with the way the meta has shifted. So from this position, he moves back into the corner. I don't know if that is the best play. We're also seeing a ton of Tunnel Hellion because it's a base card. So that's something to watch out for in your play is against green, you're going to have more disruption in the early game than you might otherwise have. Here, I am totally fine trading this Disciple off, because now he either has to punch it in the face or put 3 damage on his 3/4. I am okay with either one of those, and actually I go ahead and ping the 3/4 so that I can ensure that if he attacks with that, it's a straight up trade. 2-for-1 trades on a 1-drop are something you want to go for every day of the week. Here I'm looking to activate the effect, get the damage shield on the 5/3, trying to determine which boulder I want to get rid of. There's some interesting choices here. If you get rid of this boulder, it's 1 extra square that you can play things on. This square right here underneath that boulder is actually on this side of the map, so you get to play things there. However, it does open a lot more aggression right there from that direction, and that can really limit your defensive options. In this case, even though I'm really strong on the board, I'm not feeling 100% confident in opening that up quite yet. Green has the strongest removal in the game, and so I want to make sure that I am dictating how my trades go. He plays the Queen's Guard here as a 3/4. I actually really like Queen's Guard as a card. I think it is very, very versatile and pretty aggressively statted for its cost. However, in a situation where you don't have a lot of minions down and you're facing a minion-heavy army, you almost always want to play it for the increased stats so it will trade better. Because here, as long as I can get rid of the 2-drop there, I can just run up and kill it, and it's not exactly the best play, or in this case, just play around it. So and I don't think I do a good job here of checking whether or not he has access, but even if he can shoot the Phalanx Leader, it's for 3 damage. He could shoot the Phalanx Leader and play a Tempest Hound and kill it, but I've got enough of an army that I'm going to be able to come back for that. Still, I really think he should have played that more as played it as the 5/7. He's going to run up and take a shot on one of my guys. It looks like he's taking a moment to determine. Now, this into this. That combination is super potent because we have the flying and the splash, so it really can be a game-ending setup. And here we actually see the need. We don't actually have to put the flying on, which allows us to kill the 3/4 for free. So we put the radiant weapon on our vigilant, which means we can kill all 3 of these guys for no damage. No, we can't kill the hero, but we can deal 4 damage to it. I should have moved the Phalanx Leader over there just to make that 5 damage to the hero, but I don't think that's I don't think that is necessarily a game-ending error, but it's something to think about. And yeah, here the best play is to walk forward. Oh, I should have just gone ahead and attacked there. I'm being very conservative with my minions. I do go ahead and clear that stone just so that I can get an extra card and regen the shield so that he can't just do 1 attack on it and get it down to 1 health. And then we get extra damage on our flyer, and we have another radiant weapon in hand, so we can turn that into we can reactivate its flying and turn it into an absolute monster splash damage in a moment. But he goes ahead and petrifies it. which is fine. We've got another Skyborn Crusader in hand. We've got an Ascension in hand. So we can move rapidly around the map as we need to. We are in super strong position in this game. At this point, I'm really not sure what his options are. The problem with Petrify is that it takes up an entire turn. And so we're just going to, we already know we've got spells to play. We're just going to move in and start being aggressive. We couldn't have gotten the Phalanx Leader up to pump the Vigil, so that's fine. We are just going to go ahead and ping. It's good to go ahead and start clearing off the petrified minions. Don't just ignore them. They can be used to trap you in corners or for other things. It's if you've got a chance to do free damage to it and you're not giving up damage that's more important on the board, always take it. Don't just ignore the petrified minions. So we've got the 6/5. We've got the flyer down on the board again. We've still got the radiant weapon. And we've got this giant Congo line of minions. This is pretty much an unrecoverable position. There are a few things that could do it. If he had a, I didn't do a good job here of playing around the four damage off of a boulder. I can't remember the name of the card, but it would have taken out 2 for free and put 2 of them at 2 or 1 health, as well as doing 4 damage to me. But I would still have 8 damage on the board. Shard Harrier comes down, but and he gives it 2/1, but it really doesn't matter. We go ahead and attack for 4 with the splash damage that puts him down to 11. We can go ahead and start throwing minions in here at this point. It's just a matter of filing everything in. We get the sharpshooter on top of everything else, so we can set up a sniper nest up here if we need to. Now we've got him at 6, and we still have pretty much everything that can come in and attack, but we've got the flying to finish it off. For style points, we gave him splash so we could finish off the Shard Harrier. And so that's our look at the new patch. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and we'll see you tomorrow.